Hello, fellow Wind in the Willows fans. I'm Richard Haynes, and welcome to my latest video celebrating Cosgrove Hall's wonderful animated series, The Wind in the Willows. So, in each of my videos at present, I'm looking at the merchandise that went along with this series, and each week I'm celebrating the transmission of a particular episode. So, this week we're at episode 3, The Ghost at Mole End, which premiered in the UK on ITV on the 11th of May 1984. Amazing, isn't it? Here we are 40 years later talking about this. So in terms of the merchandise, not in any way really related particularly to that episode, but I thought I'd look at what I'm calling apparel slash soft goods. So apparel meaning, of course, clothing. So there are some items of clothing we're going to look at, released over the years, but also looking at other soft goods, which includes this. This is a pillowcase that came with a quilt. Now, this is really interesting because nowhere on it does it say copyright Cosgrove Hall Productions, but we can clearly see that this is the Cosgrove Hall mole, the Cosgrove Hall ratty, and you can see them in this lovely illustration enjoying a picnic. Now, I know for certain this is tied with the series because in the TV Times from 1984 that had the Wind in the Willows on the front, there was an advert inside that which advertised this quilt this quilt cover and pillowcase. But it also advertised curtains that went along with this, as well as a beanbag. Now, annoyingly, I've misplaced that issue, apart from the front cover. I can't find it anywhere. Hoping to find it at some point, but I definitely remember that advert. So what I have here is, like I say, the pillowcase. So we have Ratty Mole on this side. And if I turn this round, on the other side, we have Toad in a motor car, which is nice. You've got a little sign there, Toad Hall, 2 miles. So really lovely. The quilt cover itself, I'll bring that over now. Difficult to fit on camera, of course. So I'm not going to try and get the whole thing on. But you can see there are various illustrations throughout. So, for example, we have a yellow caravan, not authentic to the Cosgrove Hall design, but it's nice to see it there. We've got Toad beside it there. Lots of foliage, plants, flowers all around, and we have Badger there, welcoming Ratty and Mole to his home, which is nice. So kind of reminiscent of the story, the original story. And then if we turn it around here, we've got Ratty's home, Riverbank home there, which is a little bit more reminiscent of the Cosgrove Hall version. And we've got another angle there of the home. See how big this is. Trying to fit it on. There it is there, with Ratty and Mole in the boat in front of it there, which is really nice. So you've got Mole in his familiar sort of cardigan there, and Ratty's jacket there, striped jacket, a couple of ducks, which is really nice. I think that's basically it. Oh no, we do have another section here featuring Mole and Mole End. If I can open that, there we go. So there's Mole there, quite nice there. We've got the statue of Queen Victoria, which definitely appears in the series, another statue there, and we have Mole End there as the sign, which is really lovely. So I think that's pretty much it. So yeah, like I say, this came out in 1984 to complement the release of the series, premiere of the series. So like I say, I don't actually own the curtains, although I have seen them available from time to time, but they are pretty rare. Hoping to grab them at some point. But I do have this that is, I believe, made from the curtains. So this wasn't an officially licensed product, but I thought it would be nice to show this as it's something that somebody made. Again, I believe I got it from eBay, but a little tote bag made from the fabric of the curtains. Got a lovely feel to it. Different sort of fabric to the quilt cover I just showed. So you see the design style is very similar, but they are different illustrations. So you've got Toad here, again the yellow caravan, but he appears to be sort of trying to sell the idea to Badger, which is very interesting. And then on the other side, again we have Ratty and Mole in the boat, a little bit different. Looks like it's reversed in comparison to the quilt cover, but it is, yeah, a different illustration. No ducks there, as you can see. Ratty's home there, but yeah, very, very lovely to have this at least as a representation. In addition, I have this marvellous pencil case made from the same fabric. You can see the same illustration there, nothing on the back, but lovely to have Badger and Toad there. So nice little pencil case. Again, not an officially licensed product, but lovely to have it all the same. Okay, so moving on from those, we're going to step back slightly to 1983 when some knitting patterns came out. So these are really interesting. They did these wonderful knitted jumper patterns, which were sort of typical of that time. I remember having a Danger Mouse jumper knitted by my nan. Also Postman Pat, I think Tom and Jerry, various sort of animated children's brands. But I was never aware of these back in the 80s and only became aware of them in more recent years, again thanks to eBay. So unfortunately I don't have any of these jumpers actually knitted, but I'm hoping to sometime because I actually have all 4 characters, all 4 knitting patterns. You can see we have Mole here. I just need someone who can knit and someone willing to do it, maybe to create adult versions of these jumpers, because I think they would be quite nice. Maybe with an adult version you could put 2 characters on one, I don't know, maybe. But they're quite nice. You can see here Toad in his sort of typical red and white checkered suit. Lovely representation of Toad there. And then we go to Mole, who has his signature clothing there, his cardigan, his jacket, even his handkerchief in his pocket there. That's really lovely. Going down to Ratty, we've got his signature blue and white striped jacket, his cream coloured trousers there, his little cravat. Really nice of Ratty there. And then Badger, because he's bigger, of course he has the smaller head there, and his signature outfit is brown jacket, black trousers, yellow cravat there. Really nice. And they do have sort of some 3D elements. I believe the cravats are sort of more three-dimensional, they stick out. In this case with Mole it's his handkerchief that sticks out more, and with Toad I believe it's his bow tie. Really lovely, and you can see, like I say, copyright Cosgrove Hall Productions 1983. Some information on how to wash the garments, and it's actually each one comes with instructions for the characters, but inside it just includes the pattern for one of them. So yeah, really lovely. And I have here all the wool that you need for the character. So of course you need more wool or acrylic for the jumper itself, but for each of them I've got all the wool and the special items there. I think that is yeah, again that's Mole, and you've got sort of some of the, I think you call it gold lace or whatever it might be, I think for his glasses, which is what this is here. So yeah, we have Mole. So there's Toad's pattern. Quite nice. And there we can see all the bits of wool necessary for Toad. You've got to see a little envelope there with T on it, maybe for his buttons and bits and pieces in there. And there we have Ratty's pattern, and here is garments in there, typical sort of Ratty colours. And finally we have Badger. That's his pattern there, and his garments. There they are. Okay, now we're jumping ahead to the 90s. In 1995, Children's World brought out these lovely children's items of clothing for the Wind in the Willows. So this is a lovely little t-shirt. We can see the label here. You can see there 6 to 12 years, Children's World, and it has another label here, I believe. There we go. Copyright Cosgrove Hall Productions Limited, 1995. So this is a lovely little thing. Obviously, I'm not going to try it on. I haven't even got a child to try it on. But you can see here, beautiful illustration of Ratty and Mole. Isn't that lovely? One of the best illustrations I've seen, to be honest. I love that we've got the authentic typeface there. And we've got Toad Hall in the background there. Quite well drawn. Side of the riverbank there. And we've even got that there. Ratty and Mole on the riverbank. Actually came with a pair of shorts. So I even have those with it. That even says copyright Cosgrove Hall on it as well. That one's actually 12 to 18 months. But I also have the complimentary t-shirt for that, 12 to 18 months as well. So these obviously were aimed at very young children, but lovely that we can see items like this aimed at such young children, and then across the board we see items aimed at older children, and indeed, in my opinion, adults as well. So very lovely to have those. And this, I believe, is even lovelier. Look at this. This is a beautiful little sweater. Also from Children's World, we've got a very similar illustration there of Ratty and Mole, the typeface in white on top of this blue sweater. I guess you call it a sweater, cardigan, whatever you want to call it. But really lovely. And again, you've got the label there, 12 to 18 months, Children's World, 1995. But very rare, of course, these are. I mean, these are very hard to find. I doubt many of these exist still, considering how old they are. But it's just lovely that these came out in 1995, when Wind in the Willows wasn't on TV anymore. This predated even the Channel 5 repeats, so quite surprising. There are one or two other items that came out in 1995, including the plaster moulding kit. And rounding off this selection of Children's World items, there's this as well, which I managed to acquire more recently thanks to eBay. So I wasn't aware of this till I got it, really. But nice different illustration we have here with Toad joining Ratty and Mole. Toad's quite tall. Ratty and Toad are kind of the same size in reality. Nice additions here. We've got Ratty with an umbrella, so very unusual seeing that. And the Wind in the Willows typeface, a little larger this time in red, on top of this sort of creamy beigey colour with red arms as well. Size of this, again, oh no, this is younger. Look, 6 to 12 months, this one. Lovely idea to sort of have your kids wearing these. But yeah, again, 1995. So really interesting that these came out. So it kept interest in the series during that period. The videos, of course, were out. So yeah, maybe that's why, thanks to home video, they were made available. I don't know how successful these were, but yeah, lovely to have them. Okay, so I don't know if there were any sort of items of clothing released since 1995. So we're going to jump now all the way to 2019, when this very surprising release came. These Smithies costumes came out. So I was very surprised to see these. I thought, wow, this is going to sort of hopefully gain more interest in Cosgrove Hall's series. But here we have it. This is definitely Cosgrove Hall. We can see as much as I despise it, the new typeface that they're going with these days. But that's absolutely the Cosgrove Hall Toad. We've got the sort of iconic red and white checkered suit. And I quite like the way these costumes work for children. You've got your sort of, you have your face with the head of the character as a sort of hat or hood. On the back here, I'm not going to open these, but you can see there's the toad head there. So I quite like the toad head. We've got this sort of red eyes. They've gone with the sort of classic all green toads, kind of from the era of the film and the first series. So they haven't gone with the more sort of modern yellowy sort of look to him. But yeah, we can see here, definitely Cosgrove Hall. We've got Fremantle Media there, Boat Rocker, which now own the series. And it even says, copyright 2019, Fremantle Media. It actually says here, based on the television programme, The Wind in the Willows. So Cosgrove Hall doesn't seem to be mentioned on here, but because we have Fremantle and Boat Rocker, they're the copyright owners these days, so that makes sense. But yeah, 2019 these came out, still available now. You can see that the RRP on here, $16.99, and I managed to get it for £3. So I jumped at the chance. I actually already had bought them earlier than that for my own children. They were at the right sort of age, and they look great to them. So yeah, great to have them. We've got a little illustration of Toad down there. That's quite nice. Interesting choices with his clothing, but yeah, I just think these are great that these are available. They're actually available in different sizes as well. We've got, if you can see there, T1, age 1 to 2, T2, age 3 to 4, and then S, which stands for small, age 4 to 6. So yeah, obviously only aimed at very young children, but there you go. That's Toad. And this is Mole. I think this one's really lovely. And again, they've gone with these sort of iconic, in my opinion, items of clothing, outfits that the characters wore. These obviously be very recognisable from the film itself. And the film around this time was re-released by Fremantle Boat Rocker on DVD and Blu-ray. So I think these sort of came out to complement that, and again to generate more interest. Little Mole illustration. I love that illustration of Mole. Really nice. Missing his glasses, unfortunately. But not missing the glasses on the costume itself. You see that little gold rim around there. But that's not bad of Mole. I think that's a good likeness of the Cosgrove Hall Mole. So yeah, there's Mole. And then we move on to Ratty. Now this, in my opinion, is the weakest representation of Ratty, because unfortunately they're giving him a grey head. Look at the illustration there. That's not really the Cosgrove Hall Ratty, is it? It's close. You know, we've got his sort of iconic outfit there, the red and white striped jacket, and then blue and white striped jacket and the blue and white striped shirt, cream trousers and so on. But yeah, that face, you know, not only is it the wrong colour, that doesn't look like the Cosgrove Hall Ratty to me. So that is a bit of a disappointment. Not quite right, but again, it's still identifiable as the Cosgrove Hall Ratty because of the outfit. So at least it exists. I'm happy. And finally, we have Badger. Again, iconic outfit, brown jacket, yellow checkered scarf. I love that they've gone with it being checkered. That's really nice. Grey underneath there. Illustration there isn't bad. I think that's pretty good of Badger. Again, missing his glasses, so odd in that respect, but he has his glasses on the costume itself. And I think that's pretty good of Badger. Grey and white, not too bad. Yeah, so there we go. We've got the 4 characters as costumes. I don't know how well these sell. I fear that the fact that they have heavily reduced isn't the best indicator. But Smithies, of course, bring out a lot of costumes for all sorts of brands, so there's a huge choice out there. But I'm just glad that they did these. I'm glad that we've got some form of merchandise in the 2000s. We're now, of course, into the 2020s, and I'm hoping that there's more on the way. Which brings us to this marvellous T-shirt that was brought out by Truffle Shuffle. I think a couple of years back. I'm not quite sure of the year, but yeah, it might have even been last year. But unfortunately, no longer available. So I'm very glad I got one. Wish I got 2 now, because I've been wearing this. I'd have loved to have kept one in pristine condition for the collection, but at least I have this one. I'm going to look after this. Very nice. I love that we've got that sort of classic portrait of the 4 characters, and we've got the typeface. Thank God they went with that wonderful, authentic typeface for the Wind and the Willows there. So yeah, it is officially licensed. You can see there, Truffle Shuffle. They do all sorts of brands, T-shirts, but yeah, no indicator of Cosgrove Hall, Fremantle or Boat Rock or anything, but they say that they are officially licensed on their site. So yeah, I'm very glad this came out. This, of course, is a T-shirt aimed at adults. So kind of like anyone who's nostalgic for the series as an adult now can proudly wear this, like myself. But like I say, I'm going to look after this now. It's the only one I have. I'm probably not going to wear it much anymore. I'm just going to keep it nice and safe as it can be in the collection. And finally, that brings us to this item, which was also brought out by Truffle Shuffle. This is a tote bag that was actually made, you can see, from the illustrations that I showed earlier from the quilt cover. So the actual pillowcase, to be precise. So both sides of the pillowcase are brought together here quite beautifully, really, to sort of bring together this wonderful design for this tote bag that they did. Again, we've got the authentic the Wind in the Willows typeface there, and interestingly here we do have, if you can see there, copyright Fremantle. So that's marvellous. So this is officially licensed, and you can see on the label here, interesting, Westford Mill. So I don't quite understand what that is. I might look that up. westfordmill.com. So not Truffle Shuffle. I believe they were available on Truffle Shuffle, but yeah, it'd be worth looking into that. I don't know if this is available anymore, but I love that. I love that it's actually officially licensed. This isn't something that somebody's made. This is actually an officially licensed product. So great that we're getting items like this in more recent years. And like I say, I hope there are more items on the way. Fingers crossed. So there we have it. That concludes this week's video. And yeah, there was a few items released in terms of apparel, clothing, soft goods over the years. Not a huge amount, but nice to sort of see sort of items from across the decades, from the 80s, 90s and 2010s. And all the way up to the 2020s with that marvellous T-shirt and tote bag. So I really hope we'll see more of these. You know, there's so many brands out there that get a lot of sort of T-shirt releases, and it's a pity that for the Wind in the Willows we only got the one, and it's not available anymore. So yeah, I hope that will change. I hope that now that Fabulous Films are re-releasing the complete collection on DVD, there might be more interest generated with new generations, and hopefully nostalgia will take over, and The Wind in the Willows will become maybe more of a cult series. We'll see, but I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please, if you haven't already, do subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified of future uploads. Like I say, I am planning to do one every weekend. This one is a day late than planned, but yeah, either Saturday or Sunday I aim to release a new video covering a different sort of aspect of the merchandise. So thanks very much for joining me, and we'll see you next week.